everybody. As you can see that this is Miss Kathy who are with us. She's from Eerde International Boarding School. So thank you so much for coming to our webinar today. Today we're going to learn about a very new topic and a very new land, the Netherlands. And now she's going to join our Warsaw conference as well.
Thank you very much, and hello to all and welcome. It's my pleasure to share with you the Eerde experience today and answer any questions you may have about our educational institution. The Netherlands is not the first place that most individuals think about for a boarding school destination, but as you know, here are a few points to consider when looking at the Netherlands as a study destination. And I would like to highlight on one, the higher education options in the Netherlands. Many individuals already know about this, and that most of the universities in the Netherlands are completely taught in English. So we're just putting a different spin on it for those of you that already are very familiar with that. So we're saying, let's consider boarding school, doing the IBDP with us, and then looking at those higher education options, not only in the Netherlands, but abroad. The next slide. So we're going to talk about Eerde International Boarding School, and we'll cover these selections. I think the fast facts are going to be very important to agencies, but I want to give you a little bit of background about the school as well. The next. So our location, as you can see, is 90 minutes from Amsterdam. Any of you that have been in the Netherlands know the train is very easy. We are actually directly Amsterdam Central to Zwolle, and then change trains in Zwolle and a short train ride to our city of Ulmen. We're located in a rural area, and if we play the video, then you can get an idea of what our location is. And you can see by the video that we are located in a rural area on a national monument estate. Some of the things that stand out or are unique to Eerde, not only our destination, but our small classrooms with an individual learning style. And when I say small classrooms, I'm talking about 13 in a class. So that gives a lot of one-to-one dedication from the student and teacher. The next slide, please. We can just, yes. Okay, and here's a little bit of the fast fact history about Eerde. We have been a school since 1934, and our population is on the rise. Currently, as of September, we were at 115, 27 different nationalities. It's a very international student population as well as teacher population. Next slide. Our academics are listed here. You noticed in the video that we do have a small cohort of primary students that makes a very small percentage of our population. The main population of this school is grade 9 and above, with a high concentration in the growth of grade 10 to grade 12. So the majority of our students, and especially dealing with agencies that I will hope to meet in Warsaw, we're looking at the pre-IB students, IB1 and IB2. But that's not to say that we also can take the IGCSE students but right now the majority of the population is pre-IB and above. Next slide. This is just one of our testimonials from one of our students. We recruit from all over the world, and Ayu has been a very successful student as she did arts at a higher level. When you look at our website, you'll notice that we are partnered with the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam. That gives us students that want to do art at a higher level a real advantage. A lot of behind the scenes tours, workshops, extra work on their portfolio. So that's one of the aspects of Eerde that is also unique to having this partnership with the Rijksmuseum. Next. Our boarding facilities, we accommodate not only full boarders, but also weekly boarders. Weekly boarders would come in on Sunday night and leave Friday after class. That's a very small percentage of our boarding population. The majority is full-time boarders. We can take boarding students from the age of 12 if they are an EU passport holder. For non-EU passport holders, which we do the visa support on, they need to be the age of 15 to be in our boarding facility, but age 12 for the European passport holders. Boarding facilities is 2 students to a room. We do have a limited number of private rooms available, but that is truly based on availability, and it would be for an upcharge there. 2 to a room is the norm, and the boarding houses are separated by gender. Boarding houses also have a boarding staff member. We name them boarding parent, but they are professional boarding staff members, usually with a counseling background or psychology background or social worker background. They've gone through the Boarding School Association certification, and they live in the boarding houses on a rotating basis. Each house has 1 staff member residing there, and in the evening there's a 3rd staff member on campus as well. And you also have the ability to have contact directly with the boarding mentors. Each student has a boarding mentor, just like they would have an academic mentor. This is something that Eerde prides. Boarding, the students' well-being, their safety, their security is just as important as their academics. So therefore, we have a boarding mentor per student and an academic mentor per student. Next slide, please. This is some partner facts. Usually the first things partners want to know in recruitment events. This gives you just a quick overview. I would like you to notice our nationalities at this time. And I bring this up because often I'm asked, yeah, is it like a dual language school? Is it mostly locals or Dutch? So our Dutch are capped at 3%. This is truly an international environment where we want to welcome students on an international basis. Everything is in English. Students can also learn Spanish, Dutch, German, French, and Swedish. The accreditation, please make note of that, partners or potential partners. We are CIS accredited, IBO accredited, and Middle States Association accredited from the United States, allowing us to offer the U.S. high school diploma as well. Our applications are done on an online platform. We use Open Apply, and from the time that you make inquiry on that Open Apply platform, you will have response within 48 hours. We encourage our potential students to make application, and through the agents, the partnerships, just remember there's no financial obligation for this application process. We would like the students to go ahead, go through the entire admission application process. We give an offer, and then if that offer is accepted by the family, the registration fee is paid, and that will hold their slot until school begins. Next slide, please. As far as support and what's expected in our partnership, there's an agent application and agreement, which agencies would, if they wanted to partner with us, that they would sign. And basically, from the agent side, we ask you to help the student, the family to make application, assist them with uploading any required documents so the application is complete and we can go further with it, which would include an interview with the academic team for placement, and serve as a contact as needed. And that's basically from the parent side, because once a student has applied with us and accepted an offer, then we will communicate directly with the family. But of course, we don't want to leave the agent out if they want to be a part of that communication. But from the point that we accept a student, then they are directly in contact with the academic coordinators, with the boarding coordinators. And if there would be something that would need to be discussed, I don't want that to fall back on your plate as necessary. We want to have a direct line of communication with the family members. Now, of course, we leave that up to the family members to decide. If they say no, they want the agent involved with all communications, and we will comply with that as well. As far as the admission team goes, I wanted to talk about that we will do individual meetings and communications to the agencies as requested. This point is something I discuss when we meet in person with agencies. Even if you have a family member or a student, potential student, that we might be one of 2 or 3 schools they're looking at, I welcome the opportunity to have a virtual meeting with them and explain our school, our offer, online with them, even though we might not be in their final choice. And that's the kind of support and partnership that we're seeking to develop. As far as promotional materials, that's shared with our agents via our agent page and a monthly newsletter. Presentation to potential families, we've talked about that. We're always here to help as far as myself and my admissions team. And as visa paperwork, our team handles that. So any of the students that would need visas, we will handle all of the paperwork. That does not lay on the agent to do that. Our commission rate offer is 10% of tuition and boarding. And I say as applicable, that would be if you had a day student, then of course it would just be the tuition. But the majority, I think we're talking tuition and boarding. Yeah. Next slide. And here is a breakdown of our fees currently. I just highlighted where the majority of I think our partnerships are going to lie with the secondary high school and full boarding. And you can see there is a registration fee. That's what will hold their spot once they accept our offer. And the boarding deposit, like in most schools, is returned upon their departure from boarding. Next. What we're looking for on admission procedures is this says for the non-EU passport holder, but basically this is for anyone applying for pre-IB or IBDP. For the IBDP, we will want a 6.0 for the ELSA level, and for the pre-IB, a 5.0. On the grade equivalent, in our in-house students for grade 10 are completing the IGCSEs. So some students apply to us for IB that have the IGCSEs or GCSEs. Others are coming directly from their home curriculum. So we're asking for an equivalent of grade 10 completion. Now, students that are, say, in grade 10 and they want to come to us mid-year, they could transition into a pre-IB and finish out the pre-IB year and then go into the IBDP. This is the link that goes to our application. It's also found on our website and under admissions. And after a student has made application, uploaded the documents on Open Apply, then we'll do an individual interview with the IB coordinator. I am very vested in the decision making of who comes into our school. So you're not handed off to someone, you're constantly dealing with me and my team. An acceptance letter is issued, and then we start the visa process once the registration fee has been paid. Yes. Often I'm asked, where do your students go? If you asked me that 6 years ago, I would tell you the majority were going to North America, the UK, some home countries, but we're seeing a real fluctuation now of students staying in the Netherlands. One aspect I'd like to talk to you about on this is students that are non-EU passport holders that apply to us. The Netherlands has a 5-year policy on permanent residency. So the time that the student is with us counts toward those 5 years. Let's, for example, say a student would come, non-EU passport holder, comes to Eerde, does IB1 and IB2. Those 2 years count toward the 5 years. That student goes on to Utrecht University, for example, does a bachelor's there. That's 3 years for the bachelor's. 5 years in, they have a permanent residency in the Netherlands. So that is something that is of interest. Some agents, I realized, did not know that the time that they're spending in the IB program does count toward the 5-year requirement. And if you'd like to talk with us or contact me directly, here's my email. And to close, I just say that I'm looking very forward to the Warsaw Global Conference, and I hope to meet some of you face-to-face there. Thank you. I will give a shout out to everyone out there. Stop by my table. I have a little wooden shoe, so you remember where I'm at, and you remember our time together on this presentation, okay?
For sure. Thank you so much, Katie. Have a great trip over there, and we will see you soon.
Okay, goodbye now. Thank you.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you, agencies. Thank you, Katie.